The president issues an executive order on the second stimulus check package, but what does that mean for you? Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Evening's LALATE with a 1-hour special. We will be doing two 20-minute videos that cover the executive order issued by the president minutes ago about the second stimulus package. EIDL will return tomorrow night. This is the first video. The next video comes up at 7:15 Pacific Standard Time and covers what happens next now that this executive order has been issued. This video covers the order itself. Let me get right to the details. The President of the United States minutes ago issued an executive order, and 4 items were in it. The remaining items were nowhere to be mentioned. Let me give you the items right off the bat, and then I'll give you the backstory and then the detail. The President issued an executive order late this afternoon, Friday afternoon, as negotiations unraveled in the second stimulus package. The executive order will call for the following. 1. Deferring payroll taxes. 2. Enhance unemployment benefits, which is FPUC. 3. Student loan repayments deferment. And 4. Extending the eviction moratorium. All right, now let me get to the detail, and then I'm going to explain to you whether or not any of these things will last. First, the president announced that he will offer a deferment of the payroll tax. This is what he actually said, his exact words. He will be deferring the payroll tax to the end of the year. We got to do the job. Nobody would. Payroll tax until the end of the year, retroactive to July 1st. At the end of the year, maybe it will be extended. What is the president referring to? He's referring to employers not having to pay payroll tax for employees on their monthly or, itemized tax statements. He's calling for employers a break, again, for businesses, not for employees, but a break for businesses to not pay payroll taxes to the end of the year, but also doing it retroactive back to July 1. What's the backstory on payroll tax? The backstory is that no one supports it, not even Republicans. The payroll tax was not in the Republicans' HEALS Act. The reason why was that the president had floated payroll tax for a while, and it actually said before Mitch McConnell had introduced the HEALS Act that he would require payroll tax to be part of the Republican second stimulus package. It was not. It was never introduced by Mitch McConnell because Republicans were not on board. In fact, polling was done before the Republicans introduced their stimulus package, and no one supported the payroll tax. Bottom line is, can the president do a payroll tax? Yes, he absolutely has the authority under the Constitution to cause the deferment of payroll taxes on a state or local level. And will it be effective? It doesn't hurt. But does it put people back to work? No. Does it create jobs? No. Does it pay for rent? No. Does it give you gas or electricity? No. It is really a help for big business. It is not a help for the working American. Next, enhanced benefits to the end of the year. What is that? That's FPUC. It's just using the more sophisticated language. He says we will be doing enhanced benefits to the end of the year. It will be brought out to the end of the year. Now, how much? He didn't say it. He literally would not state the amount of FPUC, which is really quite ridiculous because that's been the topic of discussion this entire week. Here's my reaction to this. First of all, the president has absolutely zero constitutional right to extend FPUC, to offer FPUC, to pay for FPUC, to send out a single penny for FPUC, whether it's $1 or $20 trillion. The Constitution is very clear that executive orders cannot be used to send out money from the Treasury. Money can only be sent out from the Treasury by act of Congress. So it's very, very clear, and this president certainly knows, that he has absolutely zero constitutional authority to send out a single penny for FPUC to anyone. Moreover, even if he did, he would basically be ordering states to do something per his order. The president also has no authority to order states to do anything. Basically, FPUC was paid to you by your respective state, but funded by the federal government. He's ordering states to get their money from the federal government and send it to you. What's going to happen with this? Tomorrow morning, the first state that receives this bill is going to file litigation. The Attorney General of California, the Attorney General of New York is going to file a lawsuit in their state district court against the federal government saying you have no authority to order us to do anything and we're not doing it. Bottom line is not a single penny is going to be sent out. The president has no authority to send out money, and what's very troubling about this on a personal level as I sit here right now is that we all have our personal opinions about the people involved here, and we all generally like Steve Mnuchin, although sometimes he's a little bit off base. Here he's very off base. If Steve Mnuchin recommended to the president to order the Treasury to send out money, Steve Mnuchin should absolutely know as the Treasury Secretary, after lying to the American public twice this week, that the Treasury has absolutely zero constitutional authority to send out money by executive order. Why in the world is this man even talking to his boss to do something that's so unconstitutional after he told Americans that he would have a deal with Nancy Pelosi by today, a lie, and last week he said he would have a deal last week. It's starting to cause us concern about what's going on in Mr. Mnuchin's mind. Next, student loan repayments are deferred until further notice. That was exact words of the president. President can absolutely do that. That's absolutely great news. This is wonderful news. He absolutely can do this. This is the third of the four items, and this is the only real item that touches the American citizen. The first one, payroll taxes, is to help big businesses. It doesn't help you as the worker. It doesn't help you as the unemployed person. But student deferment of loans helps Americans. It helps the basic American. It helps the working Americans. A lot of working kids can't pay their loans because they've been laid off or they're not making enough money at work because of COVID-19. So student loan deferments are deferred. Student loans are deferred until further notice. What does that mean? What it means is you aren't forgiven from your loan, but that you don't have to pay it right now. Now, it's not a very novel idea. If it sounds sort of familiar, I heard that, LLA. Where have I heard that? You heard it because it was in the CARES Act first stimulus package. The first stimulus package had this exact language in there, and the Democrats proposed it in their bill. The Republicans did not. This is the first indication of what's very strange occurring tonight in these executive orders. The president, by executive order, is asking for something that the Democrats proposed, but not the Republicans. And as to FPUC, he's asking for payments of FPUC to December, which the Republicans wouldn't do. They were only going to offer it to this month of August for $200, and thereafter that they were going to do 70% and trail it down. And then last week he offered 1 week of FPUC at $600 a week. Now he's offering it all the way to December. There is a consistency of what's being said tonight by the president in which he's eroding the positions of Mnuchin and Meadows just 48 hours ago and doing something that is very close in time with what the Democrats actually proposed. Not bad news, actually very good news. Finally, extended the eviction moratorium in a night in which, or a day in which, a lot of stuff has been just really troubling. The president did something really, really good. If you saw my fourth video on Afternoons LALATE, I actually had to change the title and change the description because the press conference came out literally minutes before the video went live. And you saw that in the description, that the president has announced and extending the eviction moratorium. Now, here's my reaction. First, he absolutely can do it. 2, he has a constitutional right. 3, it's very, very good news. It means that anyone in an apartment cannot be evicted. 5, I think we're on the 5th one. It's a long day. 5, we don't know if this is an eviction moratorium for all tenants or some tenants. If you recall, earlier this week I did a video in which I was deeply concerned because there was a language of one news article that said a person close to Mark Meadows, the chief of staff of the president, was only floating eviction moratorium ideas for people in HUD housing and not for just people in general who can't make rent. So as I sit here right now, I don't know if this is an eviction moratorium for everyone, but hopefully Hopefully it is. I don't know also what I will know either. More about that in a second. What's not mentioned in this is the mortgage forbearance, which is really, did he just accidentally not mention it? Or is it really not included? Mortgage forbearance is the issue about not being able to make your mortgage if you own your home, or not being able to make your mortgage if you own your apartment building, commercial building. He mentioned nothing about mortgages. He mentioned nothing about forbearance. He only talked about rent eviction. Now, he has said before he's in support of mortgage forbearance, but he didn't mention it today. Can the president do this? Absolutely. So what's my reaction tonight? Well, my reaction tonight is, okay, you could have done a lot of this stuff before, didn't do it, and then how about everything else? Well, everything else is not in there, and I know you're already probably dropping in the comments. At 10 minutes of this video, how about the check? How about child support? How about PPP money? How about federal building? No one's asking about the federal building. How about those free meals, LLA? I want those free meals now. You're not asking that as well. So what's interesting is what's not in the executive order, and whether or not it could have been in the executive order. First, the stimulus check is not in the executive order. That is the elephant in the room, and the elephant has his tusk up, and he's honking his horn, and he's saying, "There's no stimulus check in here." That's my Dumbo the elephant voice. There's no stimulus check in the executive order. Now, if you're going to do executive order that can't do stuff, you might as well just throw the kitchen sink in there, don't you think? I mean, if you could do it, there's a whole backstory to this executive order. If you're doing the executive order for showmanship and for publicity and to make it look like you're tough and you're dealing with the situation, I got it. We would probably do the same. But if you're going to do that, talk about the other stuff that people want to hear about. Talk about stimulus check. Why not talk about stimulus check? Because, that is a very big issue, and that is not something you can't mention. No mention of hazard pay, as no surprise there. I don't think we were surprised he did not mention hazard pay. No mention about the post office, no mention about PPP loans, which ironically may get a lot of Republicans angry, because Republicans pushed for loans and PPP money in their stimulus package and wrote it in their stimulus package ad nauseum. And the fact that he is not extending the PPP loan program, which he probably could by executive order, is deeply troubling. Nothing about child support. Nothing about whether the stimulus check would be $500. Nothing about state funds, but he did tweet it. And I got to tell you, not to pat myself on the back, I told you what's going on, why the negotiations are going afoul. And I'll be covering that in the next video. It's the state funds. It's not the check. It's not the FPUC. It's these state funds. And both sides have a really good point about this. I'll cover that in the next video coming right up. Student debt repayment not in there. Rent grants not in there. No surprise. That's the grant money to rent. No money. No executive order for a federal building. No executive order for liability insurance for Mitch McConnell. No executive order for a meal deal to write deductions on your meals, as for Mitch. So I guess Mitch got nothing with these executive orders tonight. Oh, what a pity. Nothing for travel bans and nothing for airline bailouts. Really quite interesting. And additionally, the president said, sit down for this one. And I'm not being political. I'm just repeating his comments. So, let's keep it in tune. The president said that the pandemic is slowly disappearing. As tonight we are at 161,000 deaths in America. He also said that the economic numbers show the best new job creation of modern society, which is completely incorrect. As yesterday, 2 days ago, it's yesterday, the jobless claims reached over 1.4 million, the 20th consecutive week of jobless claims, over 1 million since the Great Depression. So I'm really not quite sure where he's getting his economic data, but the manifestation that he wanted to say to the American public in primetime news was that COVID is gone or about to go away, and everyone has jobs, and everyone has a lot of money, and let's give you a cutback for payroll taxes. He also said God doesn't like Joe Biden. Maybe he's true, But one thing is true is there's a helicopter in this broadcast as well. What great timing. Where are we going with this? Well, here is my reaction to the executive order, and coming up next on Evenings on LALATE, I'm going to go over what's going to happen next with the package, irrespective of what's going on with the executive order. The payroll taxes executive order will be issued. It will be enforceable. It won't do much of anything. It'll be a nice thing for big business. Congrats to them again. FPUC will go nowhere. Nope, not a single penny will be issued. It won't work. It will be litigated in courts, and not a single penny will be issued. Student loan repayments, congratulations, that will work. That will be real great relief for students. So that's great, great, great news. Very, very happy the president has done that. And eviction moratorium. That is really the wonderful, wonderful news of a very, very troubling week that has been a nail biter, that the president got that thing correctly. And hopefully the president puts mortgage forbearance in there. I had told you all week long that I really thought the president, last week I told you the president should issue an eviction moratorium. This week I told you the president will likely issue an eviction moratorium. And sure enough, we ended the week with an eviction moratorium. So now we just have to hope that it covers all tenants, and it also covers property owners as well. Coming up next on Evenings LALATE, I will go over where we are on the second stimulus situation now that we have an executive order, but we have negotiations stalled. It's a very confusing situation that viewers may not understand. It's complicated even for myself. So I will be going through whether or not you'll see your check, your stimulus check, whether or not it'll be taken for child support, whether or not there will be FPUC coming in your bank account of $600 a week, what you should expect, and when you should expect it. The situation is very fluid, as you can anticipate. So stay with me. At 7:15 Pacific Standard Time is part 2 of this video of Evenings LALATE. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, stay motivated, and stay of LA for more.